It's Salah! And Salah! And Mohamed Salah sets a new Premier League record. Mohamed Salah does just that. Oh, it's Salah! Time after time, he is Liverpool's shining light.
Mo Salah! He becomes Liverpool's all-time fourth highest goal scorer.
But it's Salah, and that one delivers! Straight from the training ground!
Welcome back, football fans. Today, we bring you the electrifying tale of a man who defied all odds. Mohamed Salah, the pride of Egypt and Liverpool's unstoppable force. He didn't just lead his team, he dominated the entire Premier League with both goals and assists. Yes, both. In a league where stars rise and fall each season, Salah stood tall, claiming the Golden Boot for top scorer and the Playmaker award for most assists. A historic double that only a few dare to dream of. This isn't just a story about stats, it's about passion, perseverance, and a man on a mission to prove he's still at the very top of his game. Stay with us as we dive deep into the season that rewrote Premier League history and discover how Mo Salah turned pressure into power and legacy into legend. The 2024-25 Premier League campaign kicked off under a cloud of doubt for Mohamed Salah. After dazzling seasons, whispers started circulating. Is the magic fading? Liverpool's new manager Arne Slot had taken the reins, and Salah, approaching 32, faced new expectations. Critics pointed to his age, the arrival of fresh young talents at other clubs, and the unusual challenge of performing through Ramadan, Salah's deeply personal and spiritual observance that demands fasting from dawn till sunset. Some pundits speculated this might slow him down, but clear-eyed insiders knew this was a different man preparing to rise. In pre-season, Salah's dedication stood out. Instagram posts showed intense HIIT sessions, 6K interval runs, and rigorous strength training. No hint of slowing, even on holiday. This wasn't just fitness, it was determination etched into every drop of sweat. During an interview in February, Salah talked calmly about facing Manchester City, describing the mental evolution behind his game. It's fun, it's different, but I see it in a different way now. I am more experienced. This wasn't the carefree dribbler of old, but a driven, mature craftsman. As the first games rolled by, that quiet fire began to burn. Salah didn't just score, he dominated. Early goals, smart runs, blistering finishes, and clinical composure announced his return. Each performance reminded everyone this was never just about talent, it was about heart. By mid-season, he led the Premier League charts in both goals and assists, a rare double that hinted at history unfolding. The story took shape piece by piece. The fan favourite was no longer satisfied with being a great player, he wanted to be legendary. Ahead of the title-defining clash with Manchester City, pundits forecasted fireworks. Salah responded with calm confidence. He'd come too far, worked too hard. He wasn't here to play, he was here to conquer. And so Act 1 ends with the stage set. A player who once silenced doubt now roaring back louder than ever. The journey isn't just about goals, it's about a man on a mission, ready to redefine what's possible. As the season picked up speed, something shifted in the rhythm of English football. It wasn't just the pace of the league, it was one man setting the tempo. Mohamed Salah wasn't just scoring goals anymore, he was unleashing a footballing storm. By March, the stats looked surreal. 29 goals, 18 assists, 47 direct goal involvements in just 38 games. These weren't hollow numbers. They were roars of dominance, echoes of a player who refused to fade. Commentators stopped asking if he was slowing down and started asking if anyone could even keep up. Under the guidance of Arne Slot, Salah had sharpened into something terrifying. His positioning was smarter, his movement was silent but surgical, and his chemistry with Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo, effortless. Like the ball listened to him, like defenders feared to blink. Every touch spoke of control, every run felt like a threat, Opponents began stacking defenders against him, and still, he slipped through like smoke. He wasn't just dangerous on the wing, he was everywhere. A right foot rocket here, a cut inside and curler there. Assists slid across the box with such precision they looked rehearsed, but they weren't. It was instinct, it was genius. He wasn't overperforming his expected goals, he was demolishing them. Analysts sat in studios staring at data sheets that couldn't explain what they saw on the pitch. "He's defying logic," one pundit muttered. "There's no model that explains this version of Salah." The turning point came against Bournemouth. Liverpool looked shaky, the crowd tense, but Salah, silent as always, turned pressure into poetry. A low-driven goal in the dying minutes that flipped the match and lit a fire beneath the team. From that moment, the engine didn't stall again. Week after week, he battered defences. Chelsea tried to double up, he danced past them. Manchester United, they felt the full force, watching him rack up 12 goals and 6 assists against them across all competitions this season alone. Even neutral fans stood and applauded. His name soon landed on the PFA shortlist beside the league's best. But everyone knew this wasn't just recognition, this was confirmation. Salah was leading a one-man revolt, tearing through the league like a storm that couldn't be stopped. When the season reached its final act, the Golden Boot race felt less like a competition and more like destiny unfolding, and at its center stood Mohamed Salah. From the opening whistle to match day 38, every step he took, every sprint down the flank carried the weight of ambition. The moment he scored his 29th goal in the season, his 29th strike in 38 Premier League appearances, it wasn't just another number, it was a message. Destiny was his to claim, but he wasn't alone. Alexander Isak of Newcastle, brimming with confidence, pushed forward with 23 goals, his electric form fueling hope that he could close the gap. And then there was Erling Haaland, fresh off back-to-back Golden Boots, who nevertheless tallied an impressive 22 goals despite injury struggles. From the stand, commentators whispered, will Salah hold the line, or will one of his rivals finally break through? The competition wasn't just physical, it was mental. Every weekend came with headlines: Salah leads by 6, Haaland making a late surge, Isak's Newcastle gallop keeps pressure high, and Salah, unbothered by the buzz, stayed focused. Each goal more purposeful, each run more deliberate. His goals were no longer just about flair, they were precise, calculated. 16 of them came in the second half, 14 after the 60th minute, a testament to his endurance and killer instinct. The title run felt like a chess match. Klopp's successor, Arne Slot, orchestrated Salah's movement with surgical tactics. Salah didn't just strike, he dictated. Twice during the campaign, he crafted double-digit goals and assists before Christmas, a sure sign this race had no surprises left. Still, the tension was real. The Amex Stadium saw an unforgettable moment as Salah, in a rare slip, skied an almost open goal in Liverpool's shocking defeat to Brighton, an error dubbed miss of the season. The fan question became palpable. Was the greatness of the Golden Boot slipping through his fingers? But in true champion fashion, he rebounded with steely resolve. In the next match, he sealed 2 more goals, signaling to the world the hunt wasn't over. It had reached its climax. Meanwhile, pundits couldn't stop talking. One said the race had become a tale of resilience, records, and redemption, with Salah's consistency shining brightest. Finally, match day 38 approached. With 29 goals in his pocket, Salah needed only 1 more goal to seal the award. When it came, his 29th in the draw with Crystal Palace, it felt like a cinematic moment. The stadium erupted as Salah's signature celebration rippled through the stands, knowing he had survived the storm of competition. He finished 6 goals clear of Isak and 7 ahead of Haaland. The result? Mohamed Salah claimed his 4th Golden Boot, tying Thierry Henry's all-time record. But beyond the record books, This win was emotional, a testament to willpower, consistency, and unmatched confidence under pressure. The race was over, but the legacy just beginning. By mid-season, something unexpected was happening. Mohamed Salah wasn't just firing in goals. He was becoming Liverpool's playmaker, the mastermind turning chances into chaos. He weaved invisible threads through the opposition, orchestrating attacks with a confidence that made him feel like the conductor of a symphony. Every assist was a message. He was here to dominate in every sense. 18 assists. That's how many creative passes Salah delivered in 38 matches, topping the Premier League charts by a staggering margin. 6 more than Jacob Murphy from Newcastle Dock. He claimed the Playmaker award at Anfield not as a fluke, but as a statement. This was his second such honour. After 2021-22, he again led the league in assists. But it wasn't the trophies that spoke loudest, it was his impact. In February, Salah told TNT Sports that this was my best season, not only because of his own numbers, but because he lifted others too. Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, even underestimated squad players, saying, "I make the players around me better." It wasn't scripted humility, it was truth. Defenders suffered nightmares. Not only did Salah bend defenses with his goals, but he also twisted them with his vision. A slide rule pass here, a hidden reverse ball there. He became the architect. Remember that assist to Gakpo against Arsenal? It wasn't just brilliant, it was tactical poetry, splitting lines with surgical precision. Every broadcast echoed the same sentiment. This wasn't a winger keeping form, it was a full-fledged playmaker in lightning boots. Analysts called him complete, a forward who created as much as he finished. SPN noted he broke the record for the most combined goals and assists in a 38-game season, a true dual threat. The ghosts of past greats faded. Salah was building a new legacy, and it wasn't just about stats or records. Across Anfield and beyond, the atmosphere shifted. Teammates began trusting him more. Liverpool's game had new heartbeat, Salah's heartbeat. When midfielders saw him in space, they didn't hesitate, they passed. They knew he'd deliver. By the time he was handed both Golden Boot and Playmaker trophies, in that emotional Anfield presentation, something deeper had been achieved. He hadn't just scored, he hadn't just assisted, he had guided, he had evolved, and the world was watching. The final day at Anfield felt like electricity in the air. Liverpool had already clinched the title, but for Mohamed Salah, everything still hung on one last mission, securing the Golden Boot and Playmaker awards. Just 9 minutes in, an early twist, Crystal Palace's Tyrick Mitchell slipped and Ismail Assar tapped home. The crowd gasped. Anfield celebrations froze. Liverpool fought back fiercely. Luis Diaz struck the post, Jota had runs blocked, but nothing matched the precision of Salah's touches. And then, midway through the second half, the unthinkable happened. Ryan Gravenberch saw red, leaving Liverpool with 10 men and mounting tension. Pressure mounted. Every pass, every tackle, every heartbeat felt like destiny. And then the moment arrived. 84th minute, Darwin Núñez swung in a cross, Gakpo flicked it on, and Salah, ever the predator, stabbed home a scissor kick through a defender's legs. The roar was deafening. He had done it. 29 goals, 18 assists, 47 goal involvements, a record-tying masterpiece. In that instant, history sealed itself. Salah had secured the Golden Boot, the Playmaker award, and tied the Premier League single-season goal involvement record. And it came not in a tight corner, but at the theatre of dreams, Anfield. Tears shimmered in fans' eyes, voices wavered with emotion. As the final whistle blew, Anfield erupted, not just in celebration of the title, but of the personal triumph playing out before their eyes. Moments later, Salah's 2 daughters joined him on the pitch, each cradling his Golden Boot and Playmaker trophies. Their giggles, their pride, tangible proof of his heart and humanity. In press interviews afterward, Salah spoke softly. "I think this is the best feeling I've had in my career. No flash, no bravado, just a man, overwhelmed by the magnitude of what he had achieved, for himself, for his club, and for his family." This was more than a season finale. It was the crescendo in a symphony composed over months of grit, passion and unwavering belief. And the last chord rang loud, Mohamed Salah, forever etched in Premier League lore. The final whistle had already sealed Liverpool's title triumph. It was time for something even bigger. Mohamed Salah was on the brink of history, chasing an unprecedented treble, Golden Boot, Playmaker Award, and Player of the Season all in one season. No one had ever achieved this feat, and as the awards ceremony loomed, the atmosphere crackled with anticipation and excitement. When the announcements came, the celebrations at Anfield were nothing short of euphoric. Salah emerged to receive the Golden Boot first, the weight of his 4 top-scoring campaigns echoing the great Thierry Henry's legacy. But this night wasn't just about goals, it was about complete dominance. Moments later, he lifted the Playmaker Award, confirming that his 18 assists had made him the most creative player in the league again after his own 2021-22 season. Yet the crescendo came when he was named Premier League Player of the Season, the second time he'd won the honour, first in 2017-18, joining legends like Henry, Ronaldo and De Bruyne. The roar from the stands was deafening. It wasn't just a player receiving a trophy, it was a king being coronated. When Salah held all 3 awards aloft, the weight of his achievements settled over the crowd. He had become the first ever player to complete this award sweep. That night, the Premier League didn't just crown a winner, it witnessed a legend being immortalized. Backstage, Salah's smile held the joy of triumph and the relief of fulfillment. In interviews, he reflected with gratitude and humility. "I'm blessed to have this, but I couldn't have done it without my team." The awards ceremony ended, but his history was just beginning. Mohamed Salah's story extends far beyond the pitch. Off the field, he's quietly transforming lives, using his fame and fortune to build a legacy of compassion that matches his on-field genius. In his hometown of Negrig, Salah's charitable projects have reshaped the village's future. He funded a girls' school, brought in clean water systems and sewage treatment, built an ambulance center, and even helped establish an Al-Azhar Institute, all to uplift his community. He's also supported medical care, donating millions to hospitals and intensive care units, including a children's cancer hospital in Cairo. His charity extends further through grants to widows, vulnerable families, refugees, and backing education for disadvantaged students via Cambridge scholarships and UNHCR partnerships. Away from pomp, Salah's personal journey is rooted in faith and discipline. He begins each day with prayer, channeling focus and tranquility into every aspect of his life. He's spoken about how deep a khushu, presence in Salah, brings mental clarity and resilience, traits clearly reflected in his consistency under pressure. For Salah, spiritual grounding isn't separate, it's foundational to his drive on the pitch. His humility is legendary. Stories abound of him forgiving a man who robbed his family and helping him find work. He supports hundreds of families monthly, offers micro grants to vulnerable Egyptians, and even donates quietly to social causes without seeking attention. This is the Sudan-born star who became Egypt's hero. But what makes him truly legendary is his heart. Salah isn't just a football sensation, he's a builder of communities, of hope, of spiritual strength. His story is proof that greatness isn't only measured in goals or assists, it's measured in lives touched, communities uplifted, and values embodied. And now, with trophies in hand and history at his feet, Salah's legacy goes further. It transcends sport, it embraces humanity. The roar of Anfield may have faded, the medals have been handed out, the statistics have been etched in history books, but for Mohamed Salah, the story is far from over. As the season came to a close, highlight reels flooded screens around the world. 38 games, 29 goals, 18 assists. From blistering runs to inch-perfect passes, every moment told a chapter of a bigger story. A story of resilience, hunger, and heart. Slowed motion shots flicker across the screen. Salah lifting the golden boot, sharing a laugh with his daughters, bowing in sujood after a goal, embracing teammates after every win like family. These weren't just sports moments, they were human moments. They were proof that passion, when guided by humility, creates something timeless. In that one Premier League season, Salah did what no one had done before. He swept all three of English football's biggest individual honours, but more than that, he won respect. Across cultures, across generations, across borders. He became a symbol, not just of footballing excellence, but of how greatness is built from pain, patience, and purpose. His legacy is now carved in more than just Premier League history. It lives in the hearts of fans, from not just because of what he achieved, but because of how he did it. So what comes next for Salah? More records? More trophies? Probably, but the real question is, what comes next for the game because of Salah? Will future stars be inspired to rise with the same grace, to carry not just a team, but a spirit of humanity with them? And maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end of a chapter, it's the beginning of a new era inspired by the King. If this story inspired you, don't just watch, share it, celebrate it, and carry it forward. Like, comment, subscribe, because legends don't fade, they spark futures.